Hi, it's Alice, and my little pinky friend is here to do it. So, what's the intro again?
Welcome to another episode
of Math and Science.
Of Racing to Learn. We're a nonprofit. That gets kids.
Gets kids excited about math and science.
There you go.
Whatever.
Thank you.
We are doing this new truck. I thought it was a ladybug truck.
So this is our Team Co-Rally Dementor, and this is just the shell, but today we're working on the electronics and just setting things up. You can check out all the videos on our Dementor in the playlist in the video description. Now, we had put in this Carrera 7220 servo, and I think we were looking at the old specs because this is a 20 kilogram servo, meaning it is able to create 20 kilograms of force. And the manual spec'd a 25 kilogram servo. So I'm not sure if we were just looking at an old spec online. I'm not sure if the V1 of the Dementor was 20 kilograms. Anyways, we're going to go a bit bigger. You know, we were going to see how we thought this was the stock one, so we were going to see how the stock one would handle, but that really wouldn't be an apples to apples comparison. So we're going to pull out the Carrera servo here, and we're going to pop in the servo you see on the bench there. It is a Savox. Oh, got the wrong bit on here. A Savox SC 1201 MG. So this is a 15 kilogram, a 25 kilogram servo you see there. And that's at 6 volts. The speed is 0.16 seconds for 60 degrees. I'm not sure how that compares this to the stock Carrera unit, but this is the only servo that we've got on hand, so that is what we're going to use. So we're going to pull out this 20 kilogram servo and put in an adequately spec'd one. Now, just looking at the Carrera quality of manufacture, we've actually been quite impressed. Now, Carrera has a racing heritage. They're actually from Europe, so they used to just do racers. I shouldn't say just, because that is no small feat, but then they moved into bashers, off-road vehicles, bashers, etc. So fortunate for us, we've got another alternative on the market. More competition is always better.
What does cetera mean? What does cetera mean?
I don't remember. What was that word?
Cetera.
Etc. Oh, that means everything else. So, really pleased with the quality of these moldings and just the provisions that they put in. You know, they put in actually provisions for the servo wire to go either way. So, you know, depending on the servo that you use, it may not match. And certain vehicles in the past, we've been kind of stuck or relegated to certain servos. Not the case here. It can accommodate any servo that is a standard size. Now, we'll pop open the Savox here. And yeah, again, the quality of these moldings is pretty nice. So the orientation of the servo, let's just make sure with the manual, because it's always good to do that. Measure twice, cut once. So if we take a look at the manual here, oh, we can't tell. Oh, barely. All right. So this is the front, and the output of the servo is in the back. So just really like how snugly the servo fits in. You know, the quality of these moldings, again, the plastic just feels really, really heavy duty, you know, very akin to like a Techno in terms of the quality of the plastic. So very much impressed. We'll put the screws back in here. I always like to just start them by hand so we don't cross thread. And then, looks okay. We're getting the holes to match up here. And then we'll move on to the other electronics here. So this is a combination servo and receiver box. Not sure if there's a gasket in this, and if you've been keeping up with the series on this truck, it came, or it was bought as an RTR. We actually bought it from our good friends over at Razor RC. So they used the electronics for another truck, and we picked up the roller. It's a win-win. All right, just getting these to line up. There we go. And so we've been outfitting this truck with our own electronics. We're no stranger to these A-scale beasts. Our go-to up to this point has been the Red Cat Kaiju. You can check out all the videos on our Kaiju in the video description as well. We'll include that. That has been our go-to basher for the last year plus. It's been pretty durable, minus the differential outdrives. Kind of a known weak spot on there, but nothing. A couple of bearings on the outside of those outdrives won't fix. That's been the workaround there for the Kaiju. Haven't heard anything about the outdrives on these Corrali 8th scale vehicles, so not hearing anything is a good thing. Razor RC also has the Punisher. That's the longer chassis version. And we have the clutch on our driver set to 5. Not saying that it's consistent between models, but that's pretty low. Got the servo fully in here. I'm going to loosen up the screws for the radio box. We'll give you our opinions here. Oh, I lost my 1/4 inch bit driver, 2mm driver. So I'm using this jerry-rigged setup here. So Razor RC said that the motor, the stock motor on these, was the most powerful that he's driven in recent. Okay, so this is the receiver box. There isn't a gasket on the bottom, so maybe they just expect you to use a waterproof receiver. I mean, it's pretty well sealed, but you're not going to be able to submerge this. I really like the pass-through actually for the wires. You know, just the wire management in this truck is very nice. You know, just feed the wire in from the servo and make sure that it doesn't get bunched up here. leave some slack. You don't want to pull it overly tight, but that is really nice wire management. Look how clean that is. And then the wire for the ESC, and I'm guessing that that's why Razor took this whole assembly off, is not only to, yeah, it was probably to get that servo wire out, because that's going to be a tricky one to get into this box with it mounted, right? Once this is mounted to the chassis, feeding us a servo wire in is going to be no easy task. So we will take off this. Oh, it's still got some tack to it. Actually, we may not have to take that off. We'll just put in our receiver here, because a receiver is super light. We're using this Tactic TR326 here, and we're just going to pop it in and use that existing piece of tape. All right. And steering, let's see here. Yeah, I'll probably feed in the ESC cable and do that before we get this mounted on the chassis. The other thing is, since we're not using the antenna mast or hole mount, we can go ahead and take a piece of electrical tape and put it on the back of this just to seal it up, so we don't have any dust coming through this. Quick comparison too with the transmitter that we will be using and the stock one. This is the Tactic. You know, this used to come on Armas before Horizon bought them out and switched over to, I'm totally forgetting the name, but this is what Armas used to use, and that's what we're going to be using because that's what we had laying around. And this one is the stock Corrali one. We're using this radio and receiver in our Reaper. So, you know, not a huge difference, just your basic 2-channel transmitter. In terms of feel, this one has grown on me. When I originally used this one with our Mammoth, our Team Corrali Mammoth, I wasn't a huge fan of it. But actually the nice rubber grip, just the way that this fits your hand, I like it better than the Tactic. You know, this is the nice thing about this is that it's super compact. You know, it doesn't have anything sticking out, but this only has this loop. I'm guessing they might have the antenna going through that, but it also serves as a nice handle to grab it from. Anyways, the adjustments on this are pretty much the same. You know, they both have dual rate, steering trim adjustments. The standard or reverse for the throttle and the steering. So just, again, your basic 2-channel radios, ready to run radios. So nothing too crazy there. For our motor, we're going to be using this. This is a 2100 kV 4268. So this did not come stock in the Corrali again, but let's see here. I'm curious what the specs on the Corrali are. It doesn't have a diameter on here, right? So 42 means that it's 42 millimeters long. 42 millimeters in diameter, 68 millimeters long. I'm not sure what the Corrali is. The part number 54055, that doesn't decipher into a dimension there, a set of dimensions. We can always ask a Razor, but at least the KV is pretty similar, 2100 versus 2050. So in terms of what the KV means, for those that are not familiar, that is basically the speed that the motor will spin given a volt. So it will make essentially 2050 RPM per volt. Correct me if I'm wrong, or thousands of volts, something like that. Don't quote me on any of that, but basically it's a correlation of how fast or a measure of how fast the motor turns given a certain voltage. So it is hot. I am not thinking clearly, so I'm gonna wrap this video up. We've got a heat wave hitting us here in California. So next episode, we'll finish our install of this. Forgot to mention our speed control here. We're just using a Hobbywing WP8BL150. This came on our Sen Reaper. Actually, that's why it's still got the Reaper sticker on there. Sen Racing. So let us know what you think in the comments. Smash that like button if we've earned it. That subscribe button helps us even more. And the notification bell even more than that if you haven't or have already subscribed. So we will catch you next time. Stay tuned for more on our Team Carrera Dementor, and thanks again for watching.